you fake that smile, baby? Trying to pull your hand away from him. Does he see you cry in silence? Why do you stay? Why do you stay? 'Cause I'm right here now. I'm gonna show you what true love's about. But I can't move, girl, when you're tied up. 'Cause I'm not the type of man who calls. Baby, it's really in your hands. Can't you see that he ain't your man? Open your eyes and see your worth. 'Cause love shouldn't really be hard work. I'm gonna love you more. I'm gonna love you more than him. But you're not mine, no girl. I know this much is sure. I'm gonna love you more than him when you're mine. See, his grip is rather tight, girl. Does he know it when you're hurting? But I can see your desperation, trying to survive this life. But I'm right here now. I'm gonna show you what true love's about. And I can't move, girl, when you're tied up. 'Cause I'm not the type of man who calls. Baby, it's really in your hands. Oh, he ain't your man. Open your eyes and see your worth. Let me in your world. I'm gonna love you more. I'm gonna love you more than him. But you're not mine, no girl. I know this much is sure. I'm gonna love you more than him when you're mine. Time will come, you realize there's a better life for you now. When it comes, I'll be here, waiting patiently now, baby. When you hurt, let him up. Come to me, let's change this, honey. 'Cause there's no reason not to. I'm gonna love you more. I'm gonna love you more than him. But you're not mine, no girl. I know as much as sure. I'm gonna love you more than him when you're mine. I'm gonna love you more. I'm gonna love you more.
Hello! I'm sitting in front of my computer. Hello! How is everybody? I don't like the way that that camera is. I may have to just do a little bit of an adjustment on this guy real quick. Bear with me. Okay, I think that's good. Whoops. Okay. I just knocked out one of the cords on my other camera, so it's fine. It's fine. Hello everybody. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Okay. So this is quilt basting 101, I suppose. Or this is my method. This is how I quilts baste, or this is how I baste quilts. I have 2, 3, maybe 4 quilts to baste today. And so this is just my method. I want to show you my method on how I do it, how I find it's easiest. You can kind of see my office from that camera that's kind of looking at me. You can't really see me. Hold on, let me move this up just a little bit. We're a little bit crooked. That's okay. That should be better. I didn't really test out the what it looked like. I kind of did, but I wasn't standing over here, so. Anyways, so my method is not the only method. My method's not the perfect method. My method's not the only way to do it. It's the way that works for me. So, I say that because you need to figure out what method works best for you, and in your space. I don't have a large space. You can't really see over here, but like this is where my cutting table is, and it is covered. Everything's over here. My sewing machine, a lot of stuff that's usually sitting on this desk is on the cutting table. So I have to kind of shift things around when I want to baste a quilt. So that's why we're gonna do 4, because it's just kind of a pain to have to move it constantly back and forth. We're gonna do one of these quilts purely with a bunch of scrap batting. This one, the purple, it's a smaller quilt top. And I think maybe this one, there's a black Minky down here. But all of my quilts, I guess it's not all, probably 98% of the quilts that I make have Minky on the back. Some people say, oh, you're a glutton for punishment. I don't know. Sure, maybe. The only thing I won't quilt with is fleece. Fleece drags on my machine and it makes it impossible for me to quilt. So I don't use fleece. I will use flannel, have used flannel on occasion. I just like Minky. I like a Minky backed quilt. I don't know why. I just do. So anyways, we're gonna start with the Seahawks quilt. Because this is the primary one that I need to get. This has a due date, so this is the primary one that needs to be basted, because I will need to, this will be the first one that gets quilted. And this one's only going to be straight line quilting, but I'm going to get through, I'm going to show you the other 2 that I plan on quilting or basting today. So I have one, this one was out of a 3-yard quick quilts book. This, all these Minky, well, this Minky is Shannon Fabrics. I won in a giveaway. It's like 2 yards. But this one is a 3-yard quick quilt. So this is one that we're going to do. This is the one that's going to have the scrap batting in it. I have an entire container of scrap batting. So, and then this one is also, I think this one is a 3-yard. Otherwise, it was an Aura Rosa, not an Aura Rosa, a Via Rosa Designs. But I think it's a 3-yard. I'll have to find the book. I am a little sniffly. I did not take my allergy medicine last night. Apologize if you can hear the dogs. My window is open in my office because we're going to be using spray based, and I'll have to find the quilt book later. I'll put the description, I'll put it in the link in the description below, you know, when the video is uploaded officially. It's somewhere in this office. But anyways, this one I made in Oklahoma, probably in 2017. So it's been waiting for a while to get quilted, and I chose a black dimple Minky for this quilt. So let me turn the zoom off. We're bouncy and I don't like it. Configure video. No autofocus. Thank you. Oh, that's bad. Okay, hold on. There we go. That's better. think. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so that one was a 3-yard, I think a 3-yard quick quilt as well. Oklahoma. All right. So this one's like the most recent quilt make. I just finished putting the borders on it yesterday. This is Solitaire. It's a free pattern on Fat Quarter Shop. It's a giveaway quilt. It's a raffle quilt, if you will. So I'm from Washington, and so I'm doing a Seahawks quilt. So yeah, so there's the quilt top. So the things you need, right? The things you need to baste a quilt is you need your backing, whatever that material is. This is also a Shannon Fabrics Minky. It's just a flat, like navy blue, that I got from Red Roxy Quilt Shop out of Iowa. You need batting, right? This is just this is natural Pellon, natural cotton batting. Twin size. You just need it to be bigger than what your finished quilt dimensions are. The Seahawks quilt is 60 by like 64, so there's a lot of this. There's going to be a lot of this left, and this is a twin size. But, you know, a crib size is not, you know, they go from like crib size to twin, so you don't really have anything in between. So that's why I have a lot of extra batting. And so the batting I'll pull out of my batting box, and then I'll use some of this probably. We're going to set this aside. So then you're going to need some sort of a clamp or a clip. So this is an IKEA desk system. It's like 54 inches long. So it's not going to be quite big enough to do like the whole quilt to lay out. But it'll be big, and it's big enough. I've done, you know, I've basted other quilts. A lot of times I'll use my dining room table. This is what I have, right? Use what you have. So these are just plastic clamps from Walmart, and they're very cheap. You can see that some of them have broken. There's, you know, you just need it to be able to hold the layers to the surface that you're working with. My preferred method is spray based. So this is the JoAnn Tailor Quilt Basting Spray. It doesn't smell. That's why I use it. It doesn't have a crazy smell. The Dritz, I think it's Dritz. It's in like a pink. It's got pink on it. It smells so bad. You'll kill all of your brain cells. And yeah, so not fun, but I have my window open just in case I have a floor fan pushing the air through. So, but this I will use regardless. I use this inside all the time. Is that the right way? I don't know. Do what you're comfortable with. There are also other methods. You could use glue. I don't have my glue bottle out, but you could use Elmer's glue. Not from this container. This is just a refillable one. But you can use school glue because it's washable. You want it to be washable. That's the thing. If you're going to use some sort of an adhesive, you want it to be like non-toxic, not something that's going to gum up your needle. You want something that's going to wash out of your quilt. So that's my preferred method. Or you can use pins. Pins take forever. They are hard on my back. So I choose not to use pins a lot, safety pins, but you can. There's nothing saying you can't. So bear with me while I get this set up. Once we get our quilt set up, it goes pretty quickly. So I usually take about three clamps for the back. And you're not going to be able to see everything I do, but I'm going to, you know, I'm going to try. All right. So I'm going to put a little bit of overhang over the edge of the table, because then I'll have a little bit of overhang on the backing, so I can put the batting straight up against the back. And then I try to use one on the side, one on each side if I can. If I don't have enough room on the back, you know, you want to make sure that it's just you want to just make sure that everything's like flat, right? That it's not wrinkled. And there's usually enough weight on the Minky to just drop it down to the ground. All right, so now I'm gonna grab my batting. I vacuumed in here yesterday, but I do have dogs, so must love dog hair, right? I like a thinner, low loft batting. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, because I know that there's going to be some overage for both the backing and the batting. I want to make sure that my batting, there's more overage on one side than the other, so that when I cut the batting, and ideally we would do this I just don't have enough room on this side of the table to justify so there we go. And it is hot here today. Like, it's very hot. Hi, Dragon. How are you? Your commands should work here. You should try it. How are you, Dragon? Okay, so you know, if I just do this, we're gonna line do one, yeah. Yeah, it should all work. Alright, so now that I did this, we're gonna have to make sure that so see, basting quilts sometimes is a lot of trial and error, especially when you have larger materials than your quilt. All right. So just making sure that this is all nice and tight, right? Everything's nice and flat. No, no Discord. We don't have a Discord shout out, baby girl. Social, no S, I think. But your dragon, that's what I'm saying. Your exclamation mark dragon should work here. Hot, as you know. Yeah, it's hot here too. Yeah, we're... Let me check mix it up. Let me make sure that I'm not telling you wrong. Yeah, it's social without the S, so it should be this. However, okay, well that worked. Did you see it on the screen? Yeah, I don't know what the YouTube delay is. It's definitely different. Yeah, I don't know what the... I don't know what the delay is on YouTube. Okay. Next we take our quilt top. I have the most ridiculous knot in my shoulder right now, and like behind my shoulder blade, and it is making me like very upset. Okay, so I actually am going to be able to baste this all in one go, from side to side, because it fits on the table. Look at that, that's wonderful. So this is the Seahawks quilt that we're doing first. I'll play around with it and see what's up. All right, so now we know that that is going to fit just fine. So I'm going to take and that makes it way easier for me because now I can, you know, basically just spray the entire I don't know if I have to shake well. No, doesn't say I have to shake it. So it is lovely when a plan comes together. I just didn't realize that it was going to be so this is the basting spray. Alright, and then I just pull the batting over. Okay. So you just want to make sure that you know, smooth it out. You don't want any like crazy wrinkles in your batting. There we go. Hi, Allie. You're here, but you've been lurking. No, you're good. You're good. It's fine. So you typically want to spray this. Let me see. I think this was the top. So I am going to spray a portion of the back of the top. A lot of times I just spray straight on the batting, but because I'm going to clip it in here, I want to make sure that the borders have, you know, and you want to stay like 12 inches away from your work if you can, if you have the room. If you don't, whatever. Love it when a plan comes. Yeah. It's pretty great. I'm not gonna lie. So I do have, like I said, I have 4 quilts to do. Well, 3, maybe 4. There we go. So there are a couple of wrinkles. That's when we just fluff it up. And this is why I like the basting spray, is because I feel like I can get a nice tight, quilt with the spray. Make sure you're hydrating. Alright, so I'm going to pull this portion of the top up. And you'll be able to tell where your spray baste stopped. And so this is what I'm going to do on the batting. So it's very warm today. Don't ask why I'm wearing jeans. So this quilt is going to be straight line. I'm going to do straight line quilting. Probably on the diagonal, I'll probably follow these lines. You know, just do them. Do a very simple quilting. I'm not looking to do like any sort of massive free motion quilting on this guy. Alright, so now we come to the portion of moving the quilt. Right? So, I'm just going to flip this up, right? And I'm going to drag it. Now you should know about, obviously, where your quilt needs to stop. I'm actually gonna move this out a little bit if I can. So kind of what I like about this table is that it's not secured really on anything. So I can just kind of move the legs. And this is a throw size quilt. This isn't anything super like intense. As far as size goes, which is nice. Make sure that this is but I have a window open in here because I'm using spray based, so it's definitely warm in my office right now. Warmer than I would like, but I need my, I thought I had 3, but maybe I didn't. Alright, so now that we've got the quilt cinched back down, actually, I'm gonna reposition. I feel like we're not. I feel like I moved it too far back. I was wondering why things were feeling a little bit awkward. Let's do that. Oh. They did, I picked it up. Okay. I'm drinking some liquid IV today. I don't know. We had game night last night, and I didn't drink. I think I just had maybe too much sugar. Because I definitely feel like a hot mess. Okay. So now that we have this, and it's a little bit crooked on the table, which is okay. It's not a big deal. As long as everything else stays straight, we're good. Okay, so that's gonna be enough. Grab your spray baste. I was just about to ask how everybody's weekend was, and I forget. It is not the weekend. It is Friday. But I've been off since Wednesday. So I forget that not everybody has been off. But if you haven't been off all week like I have, do you have any plans for the weekend? What are you guys up to? I just was able to flip that seam. Whew. All right. I also didn't sleep very well last night. Again, probably because of all the food and the sugar that I had. I've got a knot in my, like, right by my right shoulder blade. Whew. As I used the Theragun on me last night, and I don't know. I don't know if the Theragun. Alright, really, I mean, it might have helped a little bit, but. Okay, let's try and get this straightened out. So this is the end of the bottom of the quilt. So I'm actually going to clamp it down here at the bottom. On both. Okay. Now we're going to go up. So you can see when I don't know if you could tell, but when I flipped it up, I met some resistance right here, which is where the baste stopped. Ouch. Almost clamped my fingers in there. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and spray Now I'm gonna just spray on the quilt top itself. I act like I don't have the grip strength to open these, but I really do. Alright, so now I'm just smoothing it, the rest of it out, making sure that everything is nice and smooth. Alright, so that's quilt number 1. Now we're done with that one. No, I'm not going to quilt the team logo. Oh, so at this point I'm going to move the quilt over. I have yarn just falling. The area behind the desk is kind of a nightmare. So I don't really care about this much extra, but I am going to cut it. So this is just a rough, cut. Leaving myself enough room on the outside. But again, I don't really care because we're gonna reuse this batting. No! Ugh! Okay. I just broke some stitches on this quilt. Never thought that would happen. It's fine. I don't know. I'll figure. I'll be able to fix it. I just need to make sure I mark it. So I basically pulled on the quilt. I tugged on a seam and I ripped. It's not too far up, so it's actually like in one of the last sections. So I can just flip this up and fix it. I just need to put a pin so that I remember where it's at. Alright. So now I'm just going to roll it up. Rolling is kind of my preferred method for storage. Like, we're done. I really should cut that. Hold on. this over. Alright, now let's roll this bad boy up. I'm obviously not going to fix the seam right now, because then I'd have to move literally everything to fix it. So I will fix it before I quilt it. Alrighty. Whew. Alright, hydrate. Make sure you're hydrating through all of this. Okay, so we're gonna do so this is a dimple minky. I feel like I have a lot of this for the size quilt that I'm going to be doing. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Whew. Okay, I think this is gonna be wide enough if I have it like that. Oh yeah. Okay, hold on. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna use some scrap batting for this. And actually this may not be scrap batting. This may be the correct size. I just bought Minky for the first time. Do you have any suggestions for us newbies on the use of making? What to do, what not to do? You're intimidated by it. Hi, Yvette. Are you going to use it in a quilt? Yes. Okay. So practice. Honestly, when you cut it, it can be kind of linty. It can make kind of a mess. Baste it really well. The first time you use Minky, you might want to do like a combination of like a spray baste and a pin baste. But Minky's my favorite thing to quilt with. Maybe that makes me maybe that makes me a little like sadistic, I don't know. But I just think Minky's a great addition to a quilt. I love a fuzzy back on a Minky. So just for so this is one I recently quilted. So this is Minky. This is Shannon Fabrics Minky. No, I don't wash anything before. I am not a, so nothing gets washed beforehand. I just, put it on the table, baste it, quilt it, and then I wash it. So this is post wash. So it's got that beautiful quilt crinkle happening in it. But the back is Shannon Fabrics. Minky is so soft. So soft. Yes. So this I did free motion quilted. I free motion quilted this one. So this is a meander, and then I quilted stars into it. I stream, or I do charity streams for Starlight Children's Foundation, and so this is going to a donor. But I don't wash beforehand. I just go. This Minky probably came from JoAnn's. The dimple, the black, probably came from JoAnn's. I've had it for a while. The quilt that I'm going to baste to this, I made in like 2017. So that's where we're at with that. I think a Minky makes it more cozy. Like, even if you live in, like, you know, what did I call it? Satan's armpit, where Allie lives. I don't think it works here. I don't know what's going on with the chats. Let me see if I can send it as streamer. Oh, there it is. Had several people tell me you have to wash it then dry it. Ew. Ew. No. I have never heard that. I don't know. I would say I feel like they're trolling you, but that's just crazy enough that somebody probably tried it and decided that that was their method. Basting. So my preferred method of basting is using basting spray. So this is June Taylor's Quilt Basting Spray. It's odorless, which I love. I have dogs. I also don't have air conditioning. Like, I don't have central air. So my window is open. It's like 80 degrees outside, and so I have a fan pumping air from like my hallway through here to get it out of the office, but also to like kind of keep it cool in here because it's hot. For us, wet sounded disgusting. Wet sounds like, I just have to think of like the feel when you're trying to quilt it. Like, I feel like a wet Minky would drag on your quilt bed, or your sewing machine bed. It sounds like it would have a very weird, like, it'd feel weird. So anyways, so this is my method. There are lots of methods to baste a quilt. So you can use quilt basting spray. Dragon, it is 80 degrees and I don't have air conditioning. We have talked about this. Yvette, I stream on Twitch, and Dragon's one of my mods over there. So I also have a tin full of safety pins that you can also pin baste your quilt. So like every few inches you could sit there and you could like put a safety pin in and safety pin it down, which is kind of a lot of work. This is a lot of work. If you have a bad back, this is not your go. Unless you have like a higher like table to be able to like do this with. When I try and pin baste my quilts on this table or my dining room table, my low back is always so angry. Is this another can? No, that's starch. You can also use school glue. So you can use school glue. Some people like to screw with newbies. Yeah, I feel like that too. No, ask me any question you have. There are no dumb questions. Dragon, like, now it's like 80% of the houses in Washington don't have AC. They're building them with air conditioning, but oh, good grief. Now mix it up's like, let's... Oh my gosh. We're not working on that crochet pattern. Not tonight. Not right now. Yeah, some people like to gatekeep. I like it when... Like, there are no stupid questions. I mean, except if you're gonna ask me if I, like, work on sewing machines, when I've already said I don't. Because we've had somebody... We've had somebody do that. Who came into Twitch chat and just kept asking me, like, irrelevant, stupid questions. But when it comes to this stuff, like, no, there's no stupid questions. You can use school glue. It's washable. It's got to be washable so that when you wash your quilt, then it'll come out. And basically what you do is you drizzle it. You drizzle it over the quilt, and then you smooth it out. So that's the glue method. Yes, I don't have too many issues with the overspray. I'm being mindful of where I keep it. If you've never used it before, do it outside. If you've got a space you can do it outside on. There's like not much around the outside. I mean, there's a lot of stuff back there. There's a lot of stuff back there. It's a mess. Did you build that machine? Yeah, that one. Yeah, so I have carpet in my office, so it doesn't really bother me. Like if there's spray that gets on the carpet. But as long as I, like, you know, keep it, you know, if I watch what I'm doing, there is a little bit of overspray right here on the right side of my table, but what I'll do is I will take, once we're done with stream, before I even put anything back on the table, I'm going to clean it. I'm going to use, like, an all-purpose Windex or, like, just an all-purpose cleaning spray, Mrs. Meyer's, whatever, and just spray it down, wipe it down, get everything off of it. But there's nothing, like, back here that I'm super concerned about that's going to, like... Oh, yeah. Yeah, the troll. But if you're worried about either odor or, like, if you're worried about odor, you don't necessarily have to use basting spray. I just like it. I feel like it gives me the best, like, finish. You can pin baste. I pin basted a lot. I've pin basted tons of quilts. I do feel like that when I pin baste, I'm more prone to puckering on the back. I don't know why. Sorry, that's Brutus. He's outside. It's nice out here, so our neighbors have their dogs out, and he's just like, you know, he must be involved in all of the things, and he must get irritated with the neighbors. It's just who he is as a person. I wonder if that's long enough. I wonder if I have to turn it. I don't think I do. I think it's small. I think this quilt is small enough, and I'm just panicking. I don't know why. I have more quilt batting in my office than I know what to do with. So yeah, it's fine. It's going to be fine. If I need to put like a little piece on the end, it's fine. When you use the glue, I do let the glue dry. So if I'm gonna use Elmer's glue, I will baste it and leave at least 24 hours between. If you want to, if you want to quilt it same day, you can do a light, like not a full cotton hot iron, but you could do like a light iron over it to kind of set it and dry it a little bit. I've done that before too. When I'm like, I've basted it, I want to quilt it. But usually when I baste it, I don't want to quilt it that day because I'm tired of basting. I'm like, I'm tired of looking at you. I couldn't care any less. So, this is just to get me started. Azazar is outside with him. So if you hear somebody else, a male voice, that is Azazar, my partner, boyfriend, whatever term you'd like to use. We interchange between partner and boyfriend, girlfriend because we're in our 30s. Like, boyfriend, girlfriend kind of sounds a little juvenile, but, you know. And Azazar is his Twitch name. I don't use his real name on any of the streams. I am glad. I would love to see whatever it is that you do. We're big into sharing. Feel free to follow on Instagram, or if you use Discord, we have one of those. There should be a link dragon that I made earlier in the week that should still be good. If you use Discord, I'm not saying you have to. I know that it's not a social media platform. It's like a chat server almost, where you can like post pictures and talk to people, and we're pretty chatty in there. So, but I'm so thankful that you asked those questions. I do like talking quilts and sharing, you know, the love of quilting with others. So I put my quilt top right side down, and this is just to start the process of the baste. It's just so I can get it under the clamps. Yay! I'm excited you're here. I am not on YouTube nearly as much as I am on Twitch, but I am trying to be on YouTube more. I'm trying to be live on YouTube more. So, I just like to share. I like to be creative with other people. And streaming helps me do that. Helps kind of fill that. I bet you this quilt isn't square.
It's a funky night. Do you feel alright?
So this quilt I made in 2017.
It's a funky night. Let's go.
And I'm pretty confident that it's not square. But we'll try. We'll try and get it all nice and flat. Alright, I did all of the... that pattern... Oh, I think I found the book. Hold on. It's a 3-yard quilt, and I'm pretty sure it came from this book. So this is the 3-yard quilt favorites book, and Simply Strips. That's the one. I was looking for this earlier because I have another quilt that I did from that book. Hello! How are you, Sean? Welcome, welcome. Yes, it is a 3-yard. You know, I figured I was going to be in here basting a quilt, so I might as well baste all the quilts that I have been meaning to baste. So, this is one of those ones that's been sitting on a shelf. I've had the backing, but it's been sitting on a shelf forever, and I just thought, it's time. It's time. And I thought it would give me a good opportunity to show people that there are lots of different ways to baste a quilt. Because I find that there are still some people who are like new to the craft, or they haven't tried a new method in a while. And I feel like we can all learn a little bit from each other in this space. Allergies are so bad. I was so tired last night I didn't take my allergy medicine, so I'm paying for that today. It's 5 p.m. on the East Coast, so that means it's the weekend! Yeah! I'm out of that. So now I need to move to my regular water. Sorry. My allergies are just bad. All around bad. Have been my whole life. Alright, here we go. Let's baste this. So, Sean, I basted my petting zoo quilt, and it is refusing to let me quilt it. I'm so frustrated right now with that quilt. It's rolled up in a corner. It's in quilt timeout. Yeah. So sometimes quilts will like behave the way they want to, regardless of how you feel about the situation. I am using this exact same technique, the exact same technique I used on the quilt I showed earlier. I'm using Shannon Minky on the back, and I broke 2 needles, and I broke my thread more times than I care to count. This quilt is having some bias issues. I wonder if we're having some stretch problems. I don't know why, but we are. So yeah, the carnival quilt for right now, one of the carnival quilts for right now, is in timeout. This quilt does not have a home. It does not have anybody that it belongs to. This was just a quilt that I made because I liked the fabrics. I liked the pattern. Alright, there's my spray. Yeah, see, I can tell that the bottom of this quilt, something happened. See? It's not... It got warped in here somewhere. And I don't know how. So this is one of those, it was a quilt I made 5 years ago or whatever. So it's not perfect. But that one's done. So we're going to go ahead and chop this off. So I also like to trim up, I like to do like a pre-trim of my my quilt so that I don't have a whole bunch of overhang for the fabric. I still want like, you know, an inch or two on either side. I just don't need a ton of it, right? So yeah, Minky is a little bit linty when you baste it or when you cut it. So it happens. If you're prepared for that, then it's like no big deal. But some people don't like the lint. I don't, doesn't bother me. We'll move those over to the side. I did just recently see somebody on Instagram doing a method where once they like finish quilting it with the excess fabric still on it, they take it to their serger and they serge the edges. And I was like, that's so genius. So I might have to give that a shot. They serge the edges before before they put the binding on, and I thought that was just like, couldn't believe it. I have a serger, but I'm always very scared to use it, so perfect. All right, quilt number 2, basted. So this is why I like the spray based method, is because it's quick. It really, that's the end. End all be all is it's quick. This quilt will probably have some puckering issues, and that's because of the top. So this quilt is not like square, it's having some stretching problems, and it's probably because I, you know, stretched it when I ironed it, whatever. So it happens. The biggest thing is to give yourself grace. This one I will probably free motion quilt. This one will probably be just like a simple meander. But basting is like half the battle, right? Just getting it there is... Oops. Oh, the neighbors are outside. I thought there was like a dog fighting out back. I was like, what the hell? Whew. Or heck. I probably should say heck. I don't know what words are not allowed on YouTube. I swear a lot on Twitch. And I'm mindful that I'm on YouTube right now, and I'm not supposed to be swearing. So... And this is another 3-yard quick quilt, or 3-yard quilt that I'm going to be basting. And this one I'm going to this one I'm going to use probably, I'm going to Franken piece my batting, because again, I have a ton of batting that I have to get through. And I don't know, so I know that I'm going to be quilting the Seahawks quilt relatively quickly, because that's due to the charity by the 10th of July. The rest of the quilts I don't know. My sewing machine definitely needs to be taken in for service. She's having some she's having some issues. She's making some weird noises. And I'm wondering if that's why I'm having problems with the petting zoo quilt. So all right, let's see. I actually have another set of this fabric. I bought it in Oklahoma at a show or a quilt show, but I have another roll of the 3 sets of 3-yard quilts. The difference isn't high enough for me between the small print and the big print. Like the print that's for the borders, you can see kind of the difference, but it looks very much the same. So, and I think when I did the quilt, the borders were supposed to be this fabric, and I was like, no. Or it was supposed to be the purple, and I was like, no. So I made it my own. Okay, let's bind or baste this guy. Oh, hold on. I was gonna say maybe I should baste it first before I cut the batting, but we're gonna cut the batting now. Trying Discord. Dragon, did you send a Discord invite? I don't see a friend request. But here's our server. I don't know if anybody sent that to you, but there's our server invite. Let's see, friends, pending. Mine is positively stitched. I don't see any pending requests. But that's the link to get into our, the server. Scissors. Either one of those links will work. We had Discord invites kind of on lockdown. There were trolls on Twitch, and so I didn't set up anything for YouTube. I don't know that I don't know that those problems really are... No, you're good. I don't know that, if YouTube has the same issues that Twitch sometimes has with the trolls. I feel like the sewing communities that I'm in on YouTube are pretty okay. They're very wholesome, and they don't have a lot of weird people, Twitch, you just never know. I've been on Twitch for almost 8 years as a streamer, and there are some people that, like, they just really like to make other people's lives miserable. Our community's been pretty lucky, but I also have, like, specific Discord settings for our server, and it's really just to protect my friends. Because I would hate for there to be an incident in my server that I could have protected people from. So, troll's gonna troll. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're not super afraid of them. I just am trying to protect, you know, the friendos within the community. People are gonna troll regardless. But I will absolutely do my part to make sure
I'm going crazy.
that my community doesn't have to worry about
My mind. Best friend insanity.
coming into a server that
I've lost my mind.
isn't, like, protected, you know what I mean?
I can't stop myself from falling.
Beautiful!
I just wanna be deeper in your love. I can't stop myself from falling. I just wanna be deeper in your love.
There we go. Alright, so now we need to start franken-piecing our batting. Let's see. Oh, I heard some nails on the floor. Oh, I know that this one is.
Some days I'm superwoman. Some days I don't get out of bed. I'm just trying to keep it together.
That looks kind of perfect.
But when I'm with you, we're close enough.
Let's see, is that enough?
Sticking with you, whatever.
Oh no! Okay, hold on. Where did I put the scissors? Okay. So we've got these ones. I'm gonna do this. Alright, so kind of... got this one a little bit figured out. This is not typical. But I'm not opposed to this situation right here. And the spray based I like because it's repositionable. Alright. Okay. Almost done with this quilt. Go ahead and just move that there. This will be the last. Should be the last row, or last set of spray based for this quilt. Okay. We're gonna do this one. Pretty sure that we've got enough now. Be right back. Okay. Take your time. I haven't decided if we're doing another quilt after this. Or not. All right. So this is Frankenpiecing batting. Alright, so I'm just going to take and spray this last little border. There. Whew. That's 3 quilts basted. Do you ever have an issue not sewing the batting together? So, I think, no, I haven't had a problem. I think if you have a problem with it, it's going to come in the form of, if you're not quilting, like if you're not quilting through it, right? If you're doing like a tie, if you're tying your quilts together, you might find you have some shifting. But I feel like if you're gonna meander through all of this, right? If I'm gonna meander and just do like a stipple, I'm gonna be fine. If I was just doing some straight line quilting, right? Like if I was just quilting the box, this might right here have an issue, but I don't foresee that it would because I overlapped it. I have never sewn my Franken batting together. I can see why you would want to. There's merit to it. It's not, I wouldn't say it's BS, but it's, like I think if you were going to Franken batting a quilt commission, you would want to sew that batting together, just to make sure. But if it's like a personal quilt, like I don't know what's going to happen to this quilt. This is something that I made out of my stash. I might sell it. But at this point, it's like, I'm looking for my scissors. I wouldn't be worried about this batting coming undone. So this Shannon Minky, this is like, it's the hide form. This is very linty when you cut it. So some Minkies are lintier than others. This is one of those Minkies that's very linty. Like it's gonna be all over the floor, which I'm okay with. I don't care. I will probably vacuum again at some point this week. Maybe I should move that up. Yeah, I just... That's hilarious. This is messy. This is a messy Minky for sure. And this is... The scissors that I'm using, they are not exclusively fabric scissors, because they're not. And when I'm cutting this, I don't really care to use my fabric scissors. This is fine. But here, I'll show you. So look at the table. I don't know if you can see that. But that's the... This is the Shannon Fabrics. It's a like hide pattern, but it's Minky. So this is the messy one. Chewy order was here too. Nice. Chewy's pretty quick with shipping. We got our Soleo order in the other day. All the lint everywhere. Yes, this is the linty one. So, and I just wipe it off. My back is kind of pissed right now. So this might be it. I feel like basting 3 quilts is pretty impressive for one stream. I don't know that I've basted more than like 1 on stream. You know? No. I've been getting a lot of spam calls lately. And I haven't really figured out how, other than just declining the call. Like, my uncle really messes with them. So basically, don't freak out, expect lint everywhere, just enjoy the process of making a super comfy bag. Yes, yes, don't freak out. Everything I feel like is scary at first. When you try a new medium, right? Like, I have been quilting since 2010, 2011. So quilting, there's not much about quilting that scares me. There's not much about quilting that intimidates me. Curves intimidated me for a long time. However, using my serger to make clothes scares me immensely. I don't know what fabric to buy. I don't know. And what we don't know intimidates us, right? So, and if I took my own advice, just go for it, Rachel, and it will turn out fine. Because I have made clothes before, and they have all turned out fine. But continually making clothes freaks me out. I don't know why. I would rather make a bag or a quilt than make myself clothes. But there you have it. That's 3 quilts basted. This is another one that came out of the 3-yard book that I showed earlier. I will put all the links to all the things that I use in the description. I just didn't do it ahead of time. But these, I don't know when I'll be quilting them. Like I said, I know that my machine is having some of its own... my machine's having some issues. Can Minky bind a quilt? I think so, but I think it would be very frustrating. Like, if you were gonna self-bind, right? So, like, whatever you took from your extra off the sides, if you folded that in and folded it over, I would bind Minky that way. Or use Minky to bind that way. I made... Shannon Fabrics has... they have, like, these baby quilts. Like these cuddle blankets that you can make. They're kits. I'm gonna try and... Did we... Stuff shifted. I was like, what? Hold on. Let me find the link. Because yes, let's see. And you could go anywhere. So I'm just going to link from Shannon Fabrics directly. I buy from different sources. So these cuddle kits, I made a couple of dresses, yeah. You just got it in. Okay. So those quilt kits, okay, there's a lot of lint. Okay. There's a lot of lint, and do not expect it to come out square. It might come out square for you. I just be okay with an imperfection. That it might not be perfectly square. I did the Love You one, lot of lint. And that kit binds with the Minky, and it's possible. It can be done. It's not my favorite way to bind things. I would do a self-binding baby blanket, which is something that they do on, I think Missouri Star Quilt Company has the tutorial on YouTube for a self-binding baby blanket. I would bind like that way with Minky. Or I would do where you would just roll your back in. Because I can't remember if this is rolling your back in or not. So this blanket I gifted to someone who was having a baby. So I can't remember. Be patient. I made the one. And I think it took me a couple of, like, I sewed it together, and then I took a couple of days, and then, like, I took my time. There were some frustrating parts about it because you're messing with Minky. Minky does that. It just does. Minky can be infuriating, in all of the ways. But yeah, be patient, is what I would say. Oh my gosh. So basically we're kind of at like a quilt an hour. Because I started stream at like 1. Just after 1. And it's like been streaming for 3 hours. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. We've got the 3 quilts basted and ready to go. And then, oh wait, 2 hours? Oh no, we've only been live 2 hours. Look at that. 3 quilts in 2 hours. That was awesome. I am thirsty. I need to like refill my water, and I need to like stretch out my back. But anyways, I appreciate all of you being here. I don't know when my next live will be. I am hoping that it will be in the near future. Maybe we'll do some quilting. Maybe I'll do the Seahawks quilt live. Yes, Dragon, the dress I made was last year for a trip. 2 years. Was it 2 years? It was 2 years ago. We went to our friend's wedding reception, and I made a dress for it, and that was 2 years ago. But I'll probably schedule something next week. I'll try to put up like the, schedule the live. I like that about YouTube, where you can schedule lives so that it will notify people that follow you. Because Twitch doesn't really do that. So I like that about YouTube. So I will get that set up. I was like, wait, it isn't even 6 here yet. Yeah, I was like, wait a second. For some reason, my brain was like, you went live at noon. No. Or I like saw that it was almost 3 and thought, oh, I've been live for 3 hours. But the spray based doesn't take me very long, and that's why I like it. Maybe next time I will do a glue based to give that a shot to show people how glue basting goes. But there are no dumb questions. And then also, likes and follows are free. So I appreciate all of the likes and all of the follows. Yvette, it was great to meet you. Good luck with your Minky. If you got into Discord, if you have issues, let us know. When you have a success, let us know. We will absolutely be there to cheer you on. We have lots of places to share your work. We have places for you to, like, if your cuddle kit makes you want to cry and cuss, we have a section for that, and you are welcome to let out all of your frustrations in the Discord if you have them. So I will see you all next time. Thank you for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Happy Friday. Bye.